So you've got a world just packed with complicated, expensive software, right? Well, a new set of digital tools is trying to do something completely different, and it's built just for ministry work. It's called Ministify, and its whole goal is to amplify ministry. So today, let's dive in and see what that actually means.
Okay, but before we jump into the solution, we've got to get a handle on the problem. So let's start with a pretty big question. Is all this technology we use every single day really helping ministry, or is it just getting in the way? For a lot of folks on the front lines, the answer feels like a big, frustrating yes. And that brings us to this weird paradox. Let's call it the Ministry Tech Challenge. It's this strange situation where the very tools that are supposed to make work easier, well, they end up becoming a massive roadblock to the real mission. First up, let's talk about the big one, cost. Professional-level software for presentations, management, design, that stuff often has a price tag that's just way out of reach. If you're a small church or a missionary on a shoestring budget, or even a volunteer running a Bible study, that cost isn't just annoying, it's a solid brick wall. But look, cost is only half the battle. Even when you find something that's free, you run smack into the complexity problem. Let's be real, most software isn't designed for a pastor or a Sunday school teacher, right? It's built for some tech guru. It can be so confusing that it turns a simple task into this huge, frustrating project that just eats up all your time. So, what do you do? If the tools are either way too expensive or way too complicated, what's the alternative? Well, this is exactly where Ministify comes in. It's designed to be the direct answer to those problems. Simple, powerful, and, here's the kicker, completely free. So, what is Ministify really? Well, at its core, it's a collection of web apps, and it's always growing. But two words here make all the difference: free and ministry-focused. That means every single tool is built from scratch specifically for the unique things you need to do in ministry. And the thinking behind it is just as important as the tools. It's built on a few core ideas. First, it's totally free. No account needed, so you're not giving away your data. It's all web-based, which means nothing to install. And maybe the best part? It's offline ready. That is a total game changer if you're working somewhere with spotty internet. Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does it actually look like when you use it? Let's open up this digital toolkit and check out the specific tools Ministify has, broken down into a few main groups. All right, first up, Bible and teaching tools. This whole category is designed to strengthen the absolute core of any ministry. Preaching, discipleship, teaching, all that good stuff. So think about it. Instead of fighting with clunky presentation software, you get custom verse presenters made just for sermons. Instead of staring at a blank page, you have assistants that help you structure a Bible study. They're just simple little utilities, but they're designed to take all that friction out of getting your lessons ready. Next up, we've got a whole suite of church productivity tools. Now, this is for the stuff that's maybe not so glamorous, but it is absolutely essential. It's the admin work that actually keeps a ministry going. We're talking about things like simple attendance dashboards, so you can actually see how engagement is doing, easy-to-use event planners for that church potluck or outreach event, and just practical checklists to help pastors and staff keep everything straight. And, of course, the toolkit also has stuff for the worship service itself, a whole set of worship and creative tools. The whole idea here is to make services run smoother and feel more engaging, without needing a tech genius running the soundboard. This includes simple but super useful things like a digital hymnal that works on any device, helpers for managing the worship slides, and other little media tools that just make that Sunday morning experience go a little bit smoother for everybody involved. Okay, so we've seen the what, the tools themselves, but to really get what Ministify is all about, we have to look at the why. And that brings us to the core philosophy that drives this whole thing. It's all about the mission, not about the profit. Really, the whole project can be summed up with this one sentence: Ministify exists to empower ministry, no matter the size, no matter the budget. And that's not just some catchy tagline. It's the actual guiding principle that shapes every single decision they make, from the design all the way to how it gets out there. And that creates a really sharp contrast, doesn't it? On one hand, you have traditional software, expensive, complicated, and all about profit. Then you have the Ministify approach, which just flips that completely on its head. It's free, it's simple, and it's 100% mission-focused. It's just a totally different way of thinking about how tech can serve a purpose that's bigger than the bottom line. So, who is this actually for? Well, the audience is huge. It's for pastors working on a sermon, it's for youth leaders planning a game night, it's for Sunday school teachers, Bible study leaders, missionaries out in a remote village, and of course, it's for that huge army of volunteers who are really the lifeblood of any ministry.
So, when you put it all together, what do you get? Let's talk about the real-world impact. What happens when these tools are actually put to use, turning those everyday tasks into real ministry in action?
The journey from just getting work done to actually making an impact, it looks a little something like this. First, you simplify your workflow. You just get rid of those tech headaches. When you do that, it naturally amplifies what your ministry can do. It frees up your time, your energy, so you can reach further. And the end result? You get to focus on what really matters, serving people with purpose, instead of fighting with your software. And all of this leads us to one last really big question. If you take away those two huge barriers, cost and complexity, could free, purpose-built tools like this actually change the future of ministry, especially for the people and places with the fewest resources? It's a pretty compelling idea to think about, and that's what we wanted to dig into today. Thanks so much for joining us.